Okay, so you know how it is like when you start hearing about something big, right?
Hmm.
Something that sounds like it could be a real game changer in the world of finance and tech and all that. And you're thinking, I really want to wrap my head around this. But you don't really want to have to wade through like a ton of technical jargon to get there.
Right.
Well, that is exactly what we're going to try to do today.
Yeah.
We are diving deep into the Fujiwara Testnet
Okay.
and what it means for Sora v3.
Right.
And to help me make sense of all this, I've got an expert here with me today.
Hello.
So Sora itself, like the whole project really, that's a pretty ambitious vision they've got going.
Yes,
It's like this idea of creating a whole decentralized multiverse economic system, right?
Right.
It's about funding new applications and everything's governed by like a Sora parliament. It's a
Yeah.
whole new way of thinking about digital economies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very ambitious undertaking, but it's really fascinating to see how they're trying to put it all together.
Yeah, so it sounds like this Fujiwara testnet is like a really crucial next step toward making all of that a reality.
Yes, definitely.
Now, the name itself, Fujiwara, it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
It's got like a historical weight to it.
It does.
Am I right?
Yeah, it's a direct reference to the Fujiwara clan in Japan from like way back in the Heian period.
Oh, wow.
So that was centuries ago.
Yeah, so we're talking a long time ago.
Yeah, 794 to 1185.
Wow, and that family had a huge influence on Japanese politics and culture for generations.
They did. They were known for their strategic thinking. They were very good at playing the long game, and they had a big impact on Japanese culture as well.
It sounds like the name for this testnet is a deliberate choice then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's meant to evoke those ideas of strategic innovation and having a long-term vision, and that seems to be exactly what Sora is aiming for.
Okay, so just to lay out what we're doing here today, like our mission for this deep dive is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
We want to unpack this whole Fujiwara testnet. We want to understand why it matters and extract like the really key insights about what this means for the future of Sora and hopefully what it might mean for you, the listener, too.
Sounds good.
So let's start with the basics. Where does this Fujiwara testnet fit into the whole Sora v3 picture?
Okay, well, the Fujiwara Testnet is the very first public testing ground specifically for Sora v3.
Ah,
So this is like the initial phase of really putting the next major evolution of the Sora network through its paces, in a live environment.
gotcha.
And at the heart of this upgrade is something called the Sora v3 hub chain.
Hub chain. Okay, so this sounds like a pretty central piece of the puzzle.
It is very much so.
So does that mean it's like replacing the existing Sora network?
No, not at all. The current Sora network, the one that's built on Polkadot, which is Sora v2, that's going to keep running right alongside Sora v3.
Okay.
There's no intention of disrupting what's already there for users or the applications that are already running on it.
Makes sense.
It's more about like building and testing this new infrastructure in parallel.
All right, so it's like laying down a new high-speed rail line next to the existing tracks without interrupting the current train service.
Exactly. That's a great analogy.
But what about down the line? Will these two networks ever actually, like, connect?
That is the long-term vision.
Okay.
If the people who create and use new digital assets on a Sora v3 see value in it, there's a plan to build a bridge to connect the v3 network to the v2 network.
Interesting.
And this would open up some really interesting possibilities. Like you could imagine being able to trade those new Sora v3 assets on something like PolkaSwap, which currently runs on the Sora v2 ecosystem.
Okay.
It's all about creating options and smooth interaction between these different layers.
Okay, so that's how the hub chain kind of fits into the bigger picture. But what exactly is this hub chain? Like, what does it actually do? What's so special about it?
All right, well, the Sora v3 hub chain is designed to do several really important things.
Okay.
And these are things that I think could have a big impact on how we think about finance. So first off, it's designed to make collaboration much smoother by acting as a bridge between different types of systems. So we've got these permission systems, which are like the more traditional ones where access is controlled.
Right.
And then you've got these fully open decentralized systems.
Yeah.
And right now, these systems tend to operate in silos.
Yep.
The hub chain is designed to break down those walls.
Right.
So it reduces friction, it reduces costs, and it creates benefits for both sides by making it easier for them to interact.
So like imagine, for example, you've got a regulated financial institution that needs to interact with some sort of decentralized finance app.
Right.
The hub chain could make that happen in a way that's secure and efficient.
Exactly. It could open up a whole bunch of possibilities that just aren't really feasible right now.
That's a big deal.
It is.
What else does this hub chain bring to the table?
Another really crucial aspect is that it has the potential to make financial systems more resilient. It could help to decorrelate central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs for short, and other government-issued digital assets from the kind of political and economic ups and downs that we sometimes see in the world.
Wow.
So think about a situation where a country is going through some economic instability,
Yeah.
and normally that would cause their currency to weaken.
Right.
But if their digital currency was running on this hub chain, which is intended to be this neutral platform that sits above any one nation,
Okay.
then its value might not be so directly affected by what's happening locally.
Right.
So it could offer a more stable way for people to make everyday transactions or even save their money.
So it's like creating a kind of global financial safe haven.
That's a good way to put it. It's about creating a more stable global platform for exchanging value.
Right. And it sounds like it ties into this idea of economic sovereignty, too.
Absolutely. It's not about replacing national financial systems, but it's about finding that balance where individual countries can still control their own economic policies, while also allowing for more freedom in how people move money across borders.
Okay, so it's not about taking power away from anyone. It's about creating a new layer that operates above those national boundaries.
Yeah, it's about opening up new avenues for global commerce and interaction.
So who can actually use this hub chain? Is it just for big institutions?
No, the vision is much broader than that.
Okay.
The way it's designed, anyone can use it.
Right.
That includes central banks, individual businesses, even individuals. Like, you could potentially create your own digital assets on this global Sora v3 platform.
Wow.
It's built with inclusivity in mind.
So what about privacy, though? That's a huge concern for a lot of people these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And the hub chain has a pretty thoughtful approach to privacy.
Okay.
It offers the option for more control through these things called private subnets.
Okay.
So picture these as secure, customizable spaces within the larger network, where users can make transactions with a much higher level of privacy, but without losing the overall security of the system or the ability to interact with the broader blockchain if they need to.
So it's like having your own private room within a secure global headquarters.
Exactly. You can have your own private sphere within this larger, more public ecosystem.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what's the tech behind all of this? What's the foundation that makes all this possible?
So the Sora v3 hub chain is built using Hyperledger Iroha 2.
Okay.
And this is a significant choice because Hyperledger is this well-respected collaborative effort that's known for creating some really solid blockchain technologies that are often used by businesses.
Right.
And Iroha 2 specifically is designed for scalability and smooth interaction between different systems.
Okay.
So it makes it a really good base for building this kind of inclusive and interconnected financial infrastructure.
So it's like having a really reliable, high-performance engine in a brand new car.
Exactly.
So we've got this ambitious Sora v3 with its hub chain, all powered by Hyperledger. But let's bring it back to this Fujiwara testnet and why it's so important right now.
Yeah.
What's the big deal with this testing phase?
Well, think of the Fujiwara testnet like a working lab or a sandbox.
Okay.
It's a place where they can rigorously test all these core functionalities of Sora v3 and really fine-tune them in a realistic setting.
Okay.
And it's absolutely crucial to do this before the full Sora v3 network goes live.
Right.
Because this way they can gather real-world data and find any potential problems before they affect a wider user base. Yeah. Much better to iron out the kinks in a controlled environment.
Absolutely. So what are the specific things they're really focused on testing in this sandbox?
Well, there are three key areas.
Okay.
First up is decentralized finance, or DeFi.
Okay, familiar with that.
The testnet's going to be used to see how well the hub chain can handle cross-border transactions.
Right.
And how securely it can do it. This is a big promise that a lot of blockchain technologies make. And the Fujiwara testnet is going to show us how well Sora v3 can actually deliver on that promise.
So could this lead to like faster, cheaper, easier international payments for everybody?
Potentially, yes. I mean, that's the hope. It could really streamline things.
That would be huge. What's the next thing they're testing?
Okay, the second one is governance participation.
Okay.
So Sora has this concept of a Sora parliament, which is their mechanism for community governance.
Right.
The Fujiwara Testnet's going to be a key part of putting that into practice and seeing how well it works.
Okay.
So they want to see how users can actually get involved in shaping the future of the Sora ecosystem through this governance framework.
So it's not just about decentralizing the financial side of things. It's about giving the community a real say in how the whole network develops.
Exactly. It's about empowering users to be active participants.
And the third key area.
The third one is all about network stability.
Okay.
And this is really important because the Sora v3 hub chain introduces a brand new public blockchain feature. And historically, networks that have been built on Hyperledger Iroha have mostly been private permissions systems.
Okay.
So the Fujiwara testnet's going to be crucial for understanding how this new public blockchain performs in terms of how reliable it is, how secure it is, and how well it can scale up to handle the demands of a public network.
So it's a big step into a more open and accessible world.
Exactly. And this testing phase is all about making sure that the tech can handle it.
Makes sense. It's not just about testing the features themselves, but also about making sure the whole underlying platform can hold up.
Right. It's got to be able to stand up to the demands of a public setting.
Absolutely. So beyond all the specifics, what's the bigger picture goal of this testnet?
Well, the overarching aim is to really foster this culture of decentralized collaboration.
Right.
They want to lay the groundwork for a financial ecosystem that goes beyond geographical borders and political divisions.
And potentially benefits everyone.
Yeah, the idea is that it could have a positive impact on people and organizations all over the world.
That's a pretty grand vision.
Yeah, it is, but it's also exciting to think about the possibilities.
So how does all of this, the Fujiwara testnet and Sora v3, connect to Sora's broader vision for the future?
Well, Sora's ultimate goal is to use technology to create real social benefits.
Right.
And the Fujiwara testnet is a big part of that.
Okay.
They're particularly interested in harnessing the power and flexibility of Hyperledger Iroha 2.
Okay.
And we're already seeing some of the ways that Iroha 2 can be used in projects that are happening right now.
Like what?
Well, for example, some central banks are exploring using it to develop their own digital currencies.
Ah, okay, CBDCs.
Exactly.
Okay.
There are also some really innovative approaches to savings bonds that are being built on Iroha 2.
Interesting.
And even NGOs are using it to create programs that are aimed at driving positive social change.
Wow, so it's not just about traditional banking or cryptocurrency applications.
No, it really shows how versatile the underlying technology is.
It's pretty amazing to think about the range of things they're doing.
Yeah, it's very diverse.
So at its core, how does Sora define itself?
Well, Sora sees itself as being an innovative and adaptable monetary framework.
Okay.
And importantly, it's non-debt based.
Okay.
Its main mission is to create economic stability, especially for countries and communities that are vulnerable to financial shocks.
That's a worthy goal.
Yeah, definitely. And that principle guides everything that Sora does.
And we've actually seen that principle in action, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
With real-world projects.
Yes. The source material mentions Sora's involvement in the Bukulo Cash CBDC
Right.
as a really good example of how their technology is being used to create more stability and resilience in specific regions.
Yeah, so it's not just theoretical, it's being applied to real-world problems.
Exactly. It's about finding solutions that actually make a difference.
So for people listening who might be interested in getting involved with this Fujiwara testnet, is there a way for them to actually do that?
Yes, absolutely. The Fujiwara testnet is live right now.
Okay.
Anyone who has the technical skills and the interest can actually set up their own node and take part in the testing process. Yeah, and the Sora wiki has all the instructions and resources for how to do that.
Great. So for those who want to be more than just observers, they can actually jump in and get their hands dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's wrap this up. What are the key things to take away from all this?
All right, so the main point is that the Fujiwara testnet is a major step forward for Sora v3.
Okay.
And its focus is on that Sora v3 hub chain, which is all about enabling more collaboration between different kinds of financial systems.
Right.
It's about making global finance more resilient.
Yeah.
And it's about finding ways to support national economic sovereignty while still allowing for smooth cross-border transactions.
And it's all being built on that really solid Hyperledger Iroha 2 technology.
Absolutely. That's the foundation.
And the testnet itself is like a live experiment, right?
Yeah, it's where they're trying out key things like decentralized finance applications, the community governance through the Sora Parliament, and how stable that new public blockchain feature is.
So it's all aimed at creating a more inclusive, interconnected, and resilient global financial future.
That's the goal.
And the name Fujiwara, It's not just a random name, is it?
No, it's not.
It connects this whole cutting-edge technological development to this historical legacy of strategic thinking and cultural impact.
It's a reminder that they're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, it has a lot of depth.
It does.
So to leave you with something to ponder, what are the implications of a global financial platform that's trying to bridge the gap between traditional and decentralized systems?
That's a good question.
One that empowers both nations and individuals.
Yeah.
What kind of new opportunities might open up, and what kind of challenges might we not even be able to foresee yet?
Right.
What kind of future is Sora pointing to with initiatives like this Fujiwara Testnet?
Yeah, what kind of future?
It's definitely a fascinating space to watch
It is.
as it all unfolds.
Yeah, very much so.